welcome to the TETM podcast. Today we're going to be talking we're going to be talking about fear. This is a very popular phenomenon in life as a human being. So hopefully you guys will get a lot. Surely there's some interesting stuff that will be said. So just pay attention. Okay.
All right. So,
is there a particular question that anyone wants to ask?
I think it was Brother you laid the floor for the fear topic in the cinema today. So if you want to go, yeah.
I think let me ask the question. Why do people fear? Let's start with that. Yeah, you. That's it.
Because things are scary.
Yeah. I love that. That's just real right there.
But the answer is very simple. It's just that some things are so ugly. See, scary is ugly and creepy combined.
Fear equals ugly plus creepy.
Yeah, that's how you make something scary.
Let the mathematics.
Because if someone is being creepy, but they look very like normal, very chill, very nice and kind, I won't get scared. You consider the person weird. One person is ugly.
Oh.
Wow.
Nah, that's when it gets weird. Wow, that's when it gets weird. When the thing looks off and it's being creepy, no. That's not gonna get creepy.
Wow.
Not only people, but you can have some really ugly situations and
exactly.
circumstances.
I don't know why.
Yeah, stuff that looks scary.
No, please, no.
And I think even as Christians too, knowing not necessarily knowing what the will of God is in certain situations, that's scary. That's very scary. Knowing that there are forces at work. Like for example, you said that in the Bible said, and you referred to in be strong and do it services, sermons. You basically said, he's sending us forth as sheep amongst wolves. So the world, everything in the world is working against you. That is scary.
Wow.
At times, speaking from personal experiences, sometimes you can be, persistently praying, right? And that can be scary too, because sometimes it feels like you're just this tiny thing. You on your own praying for this big change, and it's just like, that is scary. So, yeah. It's a scary world here.
Just people. It's also just like the fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Like I once asked this man, a very good man in my life. That's weird to say.
And that.
My God,
let me call him my mentor, right?
Okay.
It's secondary
Awesome.
Secondary school. Okay.
So I was
guys, see the previous podcast, guys.
He said, "Who's good man in my life?"
Interesting.
guys.
It's the interest, man. Go on, please.
Okay, yes. This is my mentor.
Okay.
In secondary school.
I'm sorry.
I'll talk to him, right? And I had a lot of conversations with him, like in my final year at my previous school. And yeah, it was very insightful stuff. Like he was almost like, he was like a father figure to me.
I feel that.
Okay?
I feel that.
Right? So then I asked him if he was afraid to die, right? Because I was just in a very weird place in my life.
That's actually serious.
But it's like, why are people afraid to die? I asked him, because me personally, I've always been like, guys, to be honest, like I'm not really scared to die. Right?
Yeah, we shouldn't be.
We shouldn't be scared to die. Like it's going to happen regardless. And he was like, he's just scared because he doesn't know what's after this. And that's just like the fear of the unknown. But it's like are you afraid to die? Like I don't get that.
And it's funny that you said that, because recently someone that I know as a child passed away, and my mother was telling me how it happened, and basically she was in the car with her son and they were on the way to the hospital, and she basically was saying, I'm gonna die, da, 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 da. And then I think it was the Holy Spirit in me, and I asked mommy, why was she afraid? It was almost like the sad thing in me, why did she have to go? Why was she afraid? You know what I mean? Because she was a Christian. So I was almost like, why why was she afraid? You know, and that's similar to you and that. Like, I think the only time I'd ever be scared is if I know I really been, I haven't been moving the right, you know, really right recently. But if, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, like, I really wouldn't. Hopefully it would be quick though.
But that's crazy as well, because at that point in my life, I wasn't even like on this. I hadn't even received the Holy Spirit. So
Really, but
like, I'm not afraid because I'm going to heaven. Like,
really? You were just saying you weren't afraid? Really? That's interesting on that. We don't know on that, boy. We don't know on that. Like,
Big time convictions.
Something I have to say. If you ask me if I'm afraid to die, I wouldn't say no, because I'm going to heaven and stuff like that. I genuinely want to live a very long life. There's so much that I want to do in this life that just me thinking about getting short. It's like I've planned out my week and I still have dreams for my year. I still have hopes for my families, like my lineage, all stuff like that.
Interesting times.
Hey.
Generations.
Just stuff like that. Like how I want to be a good uncle to someone. How I want to be a good
That's cool. So guys, they're brothers, if you haven't picked up on that before.
How I want to be a good like godfather to someone. I just want to have influence, like to be a man who did this. Not just be a boy who had plans of doing this, but unfortunately, no. Since that is not even a bad thing. This is good now, not even bad. Yeah, I was going to meet the maker. Wow. I smile about it. There's something called FOMO. This is simple.
Fear
of missing out. FOMO.
I don't want to miss out on all the things.
Oh my God.
What did you think it meant?
Oh, okay.
And then
they were using his slang like they know.
So
you know some people are like that.
That is so true.
They use a slang that they don't know.
that was me with Cap.
Is it?
I didn't know what it meant.
But you knew when to apply it.
Yeah, one guy confronted me one day and I was like, I don't know.
That's so funny.
That must have been fine.
It was embarrassing. That's another lesson right there.
Oh my God, just be laughing in pain.
It was really embarrassing.
No, that's good. But yeah, there's so much I want to do in this life. Just the thoughts of me not being able to do any of these things actually just makes me sad. I don't want to die, yo. I want to. There's so much I want to do.
Right.
And the people that have done it, the people that they got to live out the life they want to. They had dreams and they had the opportunity to actually work hard and actually accomplish them. Do you know how satisfying that is? And then me, because I was born in a later time, or just for no reason, some guy was going to hit some one day, but then he didn't feel like going that day again because he slept late. He went the other day, and then that's when I was there. Just like that. All my dreams, hopes, all that stuff. Nah. Honestly, I don't want to die. But then what makes it deep is the fact that I don't think I'm supposed to feel this way. I feel like this is because I'm being selfish. These are my dreams. And if that means I'm living for myself. If I'm living for God.
Bro, it's so deep.
No, you don't
That's
understand.
so deep.
You don't understand.
That's
like,
a
I'm
different
just
way.
like, I want to start screaming right now. Like, talk to things them.
If I'm living, my life is supposed to be for Christ. I'm supposed to be living for Him. His dreams are supposed to be my dreams.
Wow.
How can you live for someone yet you don't want to die because you want to live the life you want to? It's honestly wrong.
And this is with the assumption that Christ wants you to die for something.
And the guilt is mad because I'm just like, wow, why do I even have all these hopes / dreams?
Wow. And you know, on the back of what you said, because I wanna
opening so many
no, and like on the back of the back of like what you're saying, because I want to direct it to Brother Didi, like that's like with me, like going on to you being so passionate about your future and stuff. That's exactly me. So for example, one of the things that it baffled me that you know, like with me and like my law career, like legal career, I wanted it so bad that it just felt like I was being selfish, and there's no way that God was backing this, right?
Yeah.
And even till now, at times, in all honesty, when something like threatens it, I'm like, well, this is it, because there's no way I can. Because I want it so bad, and like I've fought so hard for it. It feels as though this is just Brittany being selfish. Like this isn't what God wants me to do, and da da da. And I think, you know, there's timing with the fear. That's where the fear comes in. Like, God, you really supporting this? Like, you know. So I don't even know what you can pick apart from what we just said. Like, but I'm gonna just.
Well, Conte, are you done with your thing?
Just something I want to add. The conflict that this can just set in someone's heart is actually insane.
Wow.
This is what makes some people kind of depressed. Kind of. They have that depression, not depression thing. They're literally trying to live right, and that is the reason they are sad.
Wow.
Like everything is fine until they remember, they remember how much they could have prayed, but they didn't, because they were doing what? Grind never stops. Trying to do this so that they can become this. What does God want you to become? You don't know exactly what that thing is, but there's a solution, which is actually knowing. And then how would you know? Based on your relationship with the Holy Spirit. I feel like there's some things that he'll tell you, and if he tells you that thing and you hear it from him, it's facts. So you should just stick to that. But I can only imagine how painful it would be if he tells you something opposite that has nothing to do with what you actually feel like you were built for. Like, I'm very straight up. I love editing.
You don't feel you were built for. Nah, just the way this guy frames stuff is so good.
No, like it's really good. I told
you think about it.
Like, I love editing videos. I love playing games, and this is not just like the love of playing games that every teenage boy has. This is not just play game because you know game is sweet, is mad, explosion, gun. No. This is different. I actually see like a future in this. And all people that don't understand that, it's calm. You're just not enlightened, because people are actually making so much money off of this stuff.
That's right.
Say your stuff, boy.
Whether you want to ignore it or not, the truth is there. There are some people that are upcoming. There's some people that have been there. There's people that have retired, and they chose to retire. Like, yo, and I'm not saying that's not all I want to do though. But like, let me go back to the editing one, because more people will be able to relate with that. It's like a craft, a passion, stuff like that. I love creating content. I love like seeing people react to, like, yo, I read my comments on my videos, like, it's mad. Like when I see it, like maybe like in the first year of YouTube, I'll see 2 likes, I'll be like, oh my god, 2 people on this earth randomly felt like. Funny enough, I know those 2 people. I told them to subscribe. They didn't even watch. They just liked and did stuff like that. But I genuinely love creating content. I love when people react to my stuff. I love when it makes them laugh. I love when it's like cool, stuff like that. So when I'm live and someone comes into the stream and I say something or I do something and I think that thing is kind of funny, but I'm not the guy that will say something, okay, actually, I can laugh, like I can think of something and start laughing and crying. But when I'm on stream, like I can see something that's funny, I won't start crying and screaming about it, because that's weird if you ask me. But when I see someone in chat actually like laugh or say, yo, that was actually crazy, or yo, this stuff is good, it is so heartwarming. Now imagine how cold and heartbreaking it would be if the Holy Spirit tells me that the reason I was actually born, what I'm supposed to be focusing on, has nothing to do with this editing thing. Just imagine. Wow, that's crazy. I feel like it's how strong your conviction is. That's the only thing that can actually fight and kill that past desire and make you focus on what's actually important, which is what God is doing. But I'm not saying this because I've actually overcome this. I haven't passed through this stage. The conflict is happening. Like sometimes I just think, man, I really hope that the way I'm going is the way I should be going, and I can just gauge everything at the same time.
I just feel like giving this guy a hug, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough life, man.
If not,
Cool world, man.
Deep, you have to leave some floors.
I need some
have to
5 seconds to just actually meditate. And that's happening.
Things are going through my brain.
No, it's a lot. Like, even me, like, I have to sit here, like, in reflection, like, whoa.
Because, guys, I'm thinking, like, you with, like, all your passion and all your drive, like, not someone dark.
Oh my goodness.
Or anything. But it's like, it's the reason maybe that I wasn't afraid to die, because I just didn't have any drive. Because you know, there's also like the fear of just not living up to that. So you'd rather just disappear.
Yeah.
Like bury yourself.
No, it's true. It's true.
That's so funny.
And you wouldn't
But true.
even mind. Like,
As in.
and you're scared because you don't mind. I don't even know why life is this complicated, but it is.
Guys.
I don't want to make anybody like start deep in life too much. This is why I like
Soft life.
I don't like when because I think a lot. Like my mind is mad. I don't know.
But
how to
it's
explain
good.
it.
It's good. It's good. I just really wish I washed my hands now. But I've just disturbed all of you OCD people. Just anyway. This guy really got me thinking about so much. I want to talk about the bullying of God. I want to talk about purpose. And then there was another sub point he mentioned that I would awaken something. But let me start on the bullying of God. You know how some people may not want to be Christian, but they have to be to make heaven. To me, that's an example of the bullying of God. He's chosen. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. You must believe in him and you must be Christian. Even if you love Buddhism, but this, you must. That's crazy to me. Because everybody loves freedom. But he's chosen that this is his son, this is the way, that you people are his creation, you must listen to him. And the last thing anybody wants is to be controlled. So it's kind of the bullying of God to kind of impress his own will on your life. It's like a power he has. Like Paul said, you the clay, who are you to ask? How can you ask the potter, why did you make me like this? You're just a molded thing. One of his. So there's that, right? Then let's, on this purpose matter. Sometimes we define this, and I'm going to write a book on it, on purpose. No, because I think it's something, there's so many people that have written books on it. But, I mean, I'm sure my take will be appreciated. I feel some people are privileged to, if you ask them their purpose, they'll tell you one line. This is my purpose. But I don't believe that we all would have that same format.
True.
It's impressive to the ear. Oh, what's your purpose? Yeah, I am this. I'm focused that I am a person of. But there are some people who are just born into this world. Their father was a fisherman. They became fishermen. Finish. And God is not less happy with their life. It's people that have time that don't have time to think about whether they have a purpose or not. You understand? You need free time. It's like people, happiness is the most important thing. It's when you have money that you can start to think of what to make you happy. When you are broke, all you are thinking about is how to make money. Do you understand? Happiness, it's not a case about happiness now. So whether it's packing dustbins, you will do. Washing people's clothes by hand, you will do. But anything. So there are some questions. Sometimes I wish people would be, but I know some people will be deep enough to get it. So there are some questions that, like, it's because you have the privilege to ask them that you ask them.
Wow.
Not because that they are quintessential, that is, you can't do without them.
Wow.
So this thing about what's your purpose for life, some people never discover. And they're completely fine, and they will still make heaven, and God will still be happy with them.
Wow.
It's us that have privilege to be able to say, okay, let me go in this line. Some people, it's only one line that's set before them, and that's the only line they can go.
Wow. I never thought of it like that.
See?
Wow.
Then, so I say that to say this. You may never get that one line. Is there a person that God doesn't want to be a preacher? Is there a person that God doesn't want to be a pastor? To herald his truth, if you think about it. Which is why I'm not into titles. Personally. call me prophet this, pastor this, I'm not impressed. Somebody can call me pastor, prophet this, that, and the other. You will still disrespect me in your heart. You still don't see me as anything. Just call me Didi, it's fine. If I help you, thank God. If I don't, it's okay. There's another person too. Do you understand? So, my point is, if you ask the Holy Spirit, I'm pretty sure He could tell anybody, I want you to be a missionary, I want you to be a this, I want you to be that. My conviction is, whatever you chase, make sure it's not something that you go to hell for. For example, God will never tell you to be a stripper.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
So I can tell you, even if you love it, even if I can tell you for free, you love poles, do that gymnastics and stuff. But strip and sleep around with people, that job is taking you to hell. Now let's think about.
I have to zoom in on that. Sorry, when I'm editing.
Now, but you see, somebody can work that pole. I remember one time. Somebody posted on Twitter. They were like, if you've never had to do sex work to gain money, I can't listen to you. You don't know hustle. Because it's a free asset that comes with you, just naturally you. Stripping. It's just you. You don't need a degree. You don't need nothing. So I said there are many other jobs. What if the person has applied to all? You don't know what gets people into what they get into.
That's true.
That person deserves an apology. Tell them sorry.
Now they work that pole till they have it. They do that strip job. Till they have enough money. Now they can think about purpose. Now they can repent. Now they can find. But what gave them the first starting block to even think in a different way?
What was the strip thing?
Some questions you are only privileged to answer.
Wow.
It's not really that it's so important. So, my personal conviction, do what comes naturally to you. You're a dancer, try. You know, the only issue with that is, quote unquote, let's say I've been forced to go to school. I've never really thought about dropping out of the dancer. But let's say I've been forced to go to school. I cannot deny that going through school has done something for me. That some people who have not gone through school, you know, will ever be able to attain or stuff. You could be rich or richer, but maybe there are certain things you can't just be involved in. Maybe because you've not gone through that kind of school system. I hated boarding school. My parents said you must do it. I did it 6 years, no phone, nothing. Right? Of course, there's breaks now. You're meeting some people are just there fighting. Of course, there's your breaks and stuff. But the point is, there's only this thing there. No phone, no laptop, nothing. You're just in this school system, locked within these walls and living your every life, right? I hated it. I was forced to do it. And I thank God for it. And I think everybody kind of hates, not everybody, some people enjoy it, but a lot of people maybe hate boarding school, but they are thankful that they went through, because now in life, if anybody ever, I can say, bro, I've seen some of the worst people, worst beatings, bro, I'm not intimidated, I'm not scared, I'm not backing down.
How was boarding school, guys?
Bro, it depends on the one you get.
He's the only one you get.
Me and Fena, for example, I've said it so many times, maybe one day I'll share this story, but it always comes out in the podcast. We've been kidnapped before. I've had a gun pointed to my head before. It was like, bruv, look, this thing kills and we would honestly kill you. You have to tell your father this, like, and I said, no, we're not lying. We don't have to lie. I'll tell him to get this, but we don't have to lie for anything. I said it there. Do you understand? But it's because of that kind of bad experience that I come out to the world now, and it's thank God I made it to tell the testimony.
Yeah.
Some people tried, fronted, and got killed. There's Christians that stood up for the gospel, still got killed. So let's not even act like it's just like. So I'm privileged to be able to tell the story this way. See, but because of those harsh experiences, I can say. So that's what I'm saying. Some things can be forced on you, and they will benefit you, and you'll be thankful you went down this route.
Wow.
You understand? So that's why when I say do what comes natural to you, somebody watch this video. Oh, I really like dancing. Let me become a dancer. You may genuinely not. It may not work for you. So that's the thing about time and chance. You may just do something if it so happens to work for you. And Yeah. So may God guide every person. That's all I'll say on that one, you know. But do what comes to you. But the most important thing to understand is God is interested in soul winning.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that you've preached the gospel and gotten born again in your over game chat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Game chat.
Really?
Preachers on pulpit will never meet those souls because they are never in church.
True.
They are on the platform gaming. We need evangelists that are gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a wasted activity.
Mm-hmm.
We need evangelists that are into anime, evangelists that are into, do you understand? So mine is, it doesn't matter what you go into, as long as it's not something that will take you to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Robbing, being a hitman, all those nonsense. Gangsterism. It doesn't matter what you get into. But make sure in whatever you get into, use it as an avenue for the gospel. Mm-hmm. If you're in your office, drop 2 pennies to your colleagues. Wow. Drop to your boss this one. Be a good... If you're like Paul intentionally got arrested and was working his way up through the ranks to try and get in a confrontation with the governor. And when the governor was not interviewing him, I heard that you caused this trouble. He started preaching. The Bible says that the governor said, but for something I would have become a Christian. The governor had to confess. He said, I would have become a Christian now. Like, he wanted to get saved, you know. If he was never arrested and he played his card smart. They even wanted to release him at some point. He said, no, keep me. I must see the governor. So he was playing his cards because nobody else in that government house or anything was going to reach out to the governor. So he's saying, whatever you go in, just try and evangelize through that portal. That's one. I've talked about the bullying of God. But then on this subject about being persistent and stuff, you could want something. Try not to be into superstition. I find that sometimes we have this laxity, especially those who believe in God. They have this lax about their life. That's this way of just relaxing. God has got me, and so I don't have to force my future. It will just happen. God will work it out for me. I don't believe that.
I love that, like the harm was like
God will do
work it out. Yeah.
I believe till you have the drive this guy has. I encourage my guy. You understand? I say, push oh. Do you understand? I tell him, you make it what it is.
Wow.
There was something you said that, I don't know whether you said, yeah. He said editing is better, you know, because it sounds more like a craft than a career than saying you want to be a gamer. Because gamer seems like a side thing.
Right.
But here's the thing, you make it what it is.
Wow.
Yeah. Before, companies were just, this fly that has come in. Companies were just what? Fishery company, this one, this. Then you have things like Phase, right? And all these gamer things, and they are like genuine companies. Well, he's listening to the word of God. Let's take me. He said, preach to all creatures. So, but you have these gamer companies that can sponsor a lot. They do a lot for the poor and the homeless. They do. So, point is, you make it what it is.
Wow.
There are some, and there's a mad video I want to do for my channel. I honestly believe it'll be one of the greatest videos on the internet because I just know when an idea is that good. But it's dividing. I want to divide like ways of creating value. It amazes me that people unite 1,500 and whatnot to listen to somebody crack jokes. I was talking about this with Jeff on that. Like, it's crazy. Crack jokes to make you laugh. People pay for laughs.
I want to be happy, bro.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, somebody says, he was always the class clown. They don't see any future because you're not doing math and English and you're not passing. But people pay for laughs. Trevor Noah has built a whole life around this ability. Dave Chappelle. Like, think about those big comedians. Kevin Hart.
Funny.
We just paid to see people act a movie. People pay for music. I guess music has value, but like, I'm trying to say, people pay to watch poetry. Somebody rhyme 7 or 14 lines. Do you know how amazing that is to me? Because my point is that those things, they don't look like you're exerting strength. Right. They don't look like, it's not giving you more food, which is your human essential. It's such a trivial thing. Laughing, poetry, just hearing somebody in their craft. But Some TikTok stars. Kabi is worth, what, the last time I checked was nearly $2 million, $2 million. More than $2 million. From what?
Facial expressions.
My brother, this and my guy, 2 million? There's no ad you will not see Kabi in now.
Wow.
I'm just trying to say, all that is left for him is to accept if he's, I don't know whether he's Christian or not. I know somebody will call him, yeah, Kabi is Christian in the comment section.
That's so
but
cute.
You know, all that's left is for him to be a Christian. Because all I know, he doesn't swear, he doesn't, I don't see him doing any other thing, he's just reacting to videos. I don't think there's a crime there. Once he's saved, God will say thank you for influencing people. It's just for him to not be chipping in small gospel through his platform. Finish, as far as me I'm concerned, he has fulfilled purpose and he has done it. He filled he impacted people. That's really it. So, no matter how persistent we are and stuff, it shouldn't discourage us, because I think that persistent attitude is needed to succeed beyond other people. If you keep having that mentality, maybe this is the God, maybe it's not, you never go in full force. You know, that's the thing about faith. You have to just go in full force. You have to just believe that this, I'm going to make something of this.
You need just some last juice.
That's what I'm saying. You just have to go in full force and say, I'm going to become this and nothing can stop me. You know, and if you don't have that attitude, it's unlikely that you will succeed. You know, because you just don't have that resilience, and some people want it more, will get it. So I don't think the Bible says a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. They just keep going like that. You know, oh, is it God's will, is it not God's will? Is it God's will? No. If you want to pray for the dead to rise, don't be praying with half heart. Half heart. If you really believe God can raise this person, pray till you see that thing. You know, there was a woman, 3 days, she prayed and prayed. What if she gave up on day 2 for her daughter that was you know, that was it, daughter was on. You know, but 3rd day, she kept pressing. I'm pretty sure if it was 7 days, she would keep pressing. I've had, where me and my friend we joined hands, pray about somebody that's sick. Even when we heard that the person died, we continued praying. We still believed in the resurrection. You blame? My goodness, it's like, you understand? So that kind of thing, you just have to.
It flipped, right?
Yeah, it did flip. It moved a bit anyway. So you just have to not be double-minded. Whatever you're doing, be focused and don't be afraid of like your passion for a thing. You can genuinely just be passionate about something, you know, and just make it work, that kind of thing. But you talk about fear of the unknown and stuff. There's some deep things that you've been thinking.
Before you actually continue on to what you said about you said persistence. You call it persistence, and you can also call that conviction as well. Like it's more like yes, this world does have like rules. Certain rules that we should abide by. But I don't feel that should more like dictate like what a person should be in some sense. Like like I'm just like it's more like the question you should ask yourself is like what is your conviction about this that you're going for? Like how convicted are you? Are you convicted enough to cause it to exist? Because I don't believe. Yes, it's more like situations. It's just like Kevin Hart. He didn't grow up rich. He wasn't rich. Like it's more like that. His situation didn't come. In that situation, his situation didn't command what happened to him. Like he became rich. He became big. Like if his condition was to dictate like his life, basically, it would have been poor. Because that's usually the pattern. You cannot. It's more like coming out from that kind of having that kind of background. You cannot. Something much cannot come out of you. It's more like he was convicted about his dreams. Like he was convicted enough to cause it to happen. And aside that, I feel aside conviction, I feel humility should like also has like a part to play in this. Because I think today I was reading on like the will of God, and I came across, I think Matthew 26:39, when Jesus was like, if this cup can pass over me, nevertheless,
your will, not my will.
Yes, nevertheless, not my will shall be done, but thy will shall be done. Thy will shall be done. So it's more like if you read, like understanding that what I got by reading that was more like humility. It's more like it was like it's more like it was like. If this can pass over me, I would appreciate it. But like still, your will has to be done, not mine. If it were up to me, I would say this should pass over me. Like it's more like knowing something would not be good for you, but still trust, humility, trust, humility. You can use them to like side by side together. It's more like, you know, this can't be favorable. Like this can't look good. Like he knew that it wasn't going to look good for him, but he still chose to trust. That's how you can see the will of God. Aside, yes, you can be convicted to do something, blah blah blah. It's more like you should also trust as well. Like you should also trust. Be humble enough to trust someone that much. Like he knew. How would I explain it to you? Like Jesus himself knew that this wasn't going to be good, but he chose to trust. He said, "Nevertheless, your will I shall do, and not my will." Like he chose to trust. And there's also like another verse that I read. That one that says, I think it's in the book of Psalm 143. That says that when David was saying, "Teach us to do Thy will," teach us to do Thy will. Teach us to do Thy will. My God, I trust. Thy Spirit is good. It's more like that trust. Like Thy Spirit. It's more like just knowing that Thy Spirit. Just knowing that God's Spirit is good. Like it was enough for him to just abide by the will of God. Like I think conviction. Like your conviction can in more like your conviction can actually do things. It can actually help you in finding your will, like God's will for your life. Your convictions, and I feel also like humility, like the trust, like the humility that would tell you to like be like, okay, yes, I'm going through this world. Let me be humble enough to like submit to God in some sense. Submit to God. Oh yeah, I'll go through this world, but also submit to God. Do what I need to do. Do what He says I should do. Like just unusual paths. Your path will surely be aligned. That's what I believe.
Wow.
Humility. Like there's nothing that it's more like your willingness to learn. There's nothing that beats humility. Your willingness to learn, your willingness to improve as a person, your willingness to obey God, what He says, what His word says. I feel it's more like God does not expect us to know every like what our path should look like right from when we were born. Like it's not possible. It's more like you just learn on the way. Wow. But to learn, you must be humble enough to learn.
That's true. Wow.
You must be humble enough to learn. And I feel that was what Jesus showed before He died. And He actually helped him with aligning himself with the will of God. Yeah.
Wow.
And he had some time to grow. He was 33. He had quite seen life, enough to make a decision. Would he have been like that at 16? Would he have trusted God that much and everything at 16 and 17? Sometimes it looked like Jesus had no
human aspect.
He was just perfect, and he was, but I believe he chose to live right and chose to live by the law, not that he could not sin. I believe he could mess up. He had will. He was not a robot controlled. That's interesting. What's been going through your mind? You've been thinking so many things, just been deep in your head. You're keeping your own convictions. But on fear, so we're talking about why are people scared?
Fear.
Why are people afraid?
Yeah, we're talking about fear and like basically its effects, like what it can, why it's so bad and stuff. And I was sharing when we were at the cinema that I had an experience this past week that I thought it was crazy. And it's funny because my brother actually pointed out the whole fear thing too. And it was like basically throughout this whole period of recess, because it's just like so much, and it's more than I can even explain. But for before my first exam, because there's like online exams, but it's proctored, so they're watching you. But before the exam, the first exam, right, like I woke up and it's like, I started to panic, because it's like, and how it works is basically, let's say you have a paper from like 10 to 11:30, but you can start whenever you want within the first hour. So even if you start at 10:59, you're good. You still have the full 1 hour and 30 minutes, but you must start within that first hour, right? So I'm there, I'm like looking through the stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel like I know enough and stuff, and all of a sudden, like I just start to panic. Like, I mean, when I say panic, I mean really panic. Like the fear was bad. Like I remember just like crying, like on my bed. Like it was to the point that it was coming down to like 10:40, like the time was winding down. And like everything in me, like it was mad, because it was such a weird experience, because it's almost as if like I was hearing like, just don't do it, like you can't, why are you gonna put yourself through it, just don't do it, like why, like, you know what I mean, like everything was, it was as if something was holding me down, don't do it, just why, you know what I mean? And I managed to like pull myself up, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like just saying some confessions, and I started to speak in tongues and stuff, and I was like, I was still crying when I went by the desk, but I had my answers there, and I was just like praying, and you know, when I logged in, you have to take a picture of your face and like of your ID, and it's so funny because whoever saw that picture, they're gonna feel so bad for me. Like the picture was like me with my eyes red, like tears running down. So no, it's funny now, but
give
it was,
extra marks. Man.
I know.
Don't be sentimental, guys.
No, like it was like traumatic, and it's like, you know, when it was coming on, I was just praying and stuff, and it was like, you know, I just asked the Holy Spirit to just really step in for me, because I can't. And it's so weird because it's like in that moment, like it was more as if like it was like, just breathe, like everything you need is here, like you have your solutions, go through them, take it one step at a time, just breathe. And to know that out of the exams that I sit today, like that was like, it went tremendously well, like both papers, and you know, usually you have one paper that goes better than the other, so both papers went well, and I'm like, fear could have caused me not to even attempt the exam and to jeopardize everything that I worked for my entire life so far. And to me, that was crazy. And it reminded me of what you said on Monday, you know, that the devil can't derail you from, you know, your purpose in life or what God wants you to do or what you yourself have set for your, you know, for you to do. The only thing that can stop that is fear. And that was just a very scary example of how true that was, because I could have caved, like, you know, you have free will, I could have caved and been like, I'm just done, I could have tapped out. And it's kind of weird to know that fear can be such a powerful tool from the enemy, and even something that you can conjure yourself to keep you from something good. But yeah, that's just my crazy story.
Yeah.
Well, fear is bad. It is. I think why we fear is the thought that the thing that you're afraid of is bigger than you or more powerful than you. I think that's the root of all fear. Scared of lions, bears, tigers, scared of exams, failure, anything.
This is TikTok. Baby.
What?
I was like, it's a popular song.
Yes.
I was looking at you, hoping that you would somehow know.
You said it was a TikTok song.
You know? I didn't even know what to say it again. So, we're scared of these things because it seems they are more powerful than us. Exam, a hard exam, because you think it's more difficult than the knowledge that you have, so you're going to fail. That's it. Fear of the unknown. You just feel, what's in the future? Somebody could say, it's just because it's unknown, but it's unknown. The reason it's unknown is because what is known to you, you have conquered. To you. Do you understand? You've conquered because, you know, oh, you have a meeting tomorrow at 10. We're going to be testing your, I don't know, vision. Oh yeah, that's fine. Because you're aware of it. You have booked it into your calendar. Oh, you don't know. Oh, we're going to be testing your vision, and this will determine whether you're going to actually go into university or not. And you know that you haven't been training your eyes the way you, and now, you see? So then unknown in terms of, oh, what if I die tomorrow? See? What if today is actually my last day? What if today is see, fear of the unknown, because you don't know. So, but if you know that, okay, you believe in it, in everlasting life, and that you have, you know, eternal life at work in you now, then your conviction is that you're going to see tomorrow. So you're not scared of tomorrow. Do you understand? So basically, you're only afraid of what you feel, you know, you are not sure about. That's what the fear of unknown is. It's like, what if the unknown is a bad probability? You're really not scared of it being a good probability. Because when it's a good probability, you celebrate. Some people will argue this, but if they're honest with themselves, they will find it's the truth. You're afraid that it's a bad probability.
Yeah.
What if tomorrow is bad for me? What if I lose my job tomorrow? What if that's the fear? Oh, what if I get promoted tomorrow? Yay! I don't even mind not knowing because I'll still meet it and I'll be happy. So we're actually afraid of the depression. We're afraid of sadness and all that kind of stuff. See? So for me, the way to overcome that is to have convictions. You know, I just know I'll make it to tomorrow. Maybe because I feel my future is set, and I have. Oh, that's Sunday service. I just feel I have to make it to tomorrow, and I don't even want to think about whether I'm not making it or not. I know that I will. I just know I will. I just have to. I've been too used to living. I will not just die like this. If it's not a person's conviction yet, they should make it from today. That it is their conviction, they will make it to tomorrow. Period. They should just make it their conviction. You know, and I've said it. Fear of exams. There is invalid fear, but fear of exams. If you're scared for an exam, just make sure you've done it. I keep saying the same thing, but I don't know why we make simple things a revelation. Read. If you've read, you will not be afraid. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You've read. Think about it. You've read the full textbook. Listen.
No, but
Even
let me explain to you. Let me tell you my own. If I've read and I've done all that I know I can do, I want to meet that exam. Even if I fail, I'll be happy. I'll tell you why. Do you know why?
No.
Because I did all I could.
I did everything.
That's my defense. Do you understand? You have to lean on that. If not, it speaks for you. Don't worry. The reason behind this now is because she's used to the confession and everything good about like, hey, I can't fail, I shouldn't fail, that kind of thing. But you're thinking about it from a good perspective.
No, but the thing is, right? Like I'm talking about like sometimes you might have these if you're going from first year to second year, like the stakes aren't that high, but sometimes there's some exams.
You have to make it, right?
The stakes are high, like
I get it, but still lean on the same thing. Let me explain to you. Do you know why I don't fear? But do you know why I don't fear in that situation? Because the fear won't help me pass the exam.
No, but I learned that.
He will still be scared.
No, but it's still
as in.
No, you're not in control. That means you're not in control. Do you understand? What we're talking about is this. You have an exam that determines whether you become a lawyer or not. It's in front of you. You've done all your reading. And you must make it. My question to you is simple. There's a tendency to panic because there's a tendency towards weakness. It's just a natural tendency till you try and reverse it. Why fear?
Yes.
It's my only question. It is where those people that have cracked life, like all these Kuzi them that have dropped out and figured that Kuzi is some crazy guy we met that just feels everything is nothing and nothing equates to anything. You're just living life. The beauty of such thinking is that if you really think about it, fear is not useful to you. So stop fearing. It's like, how do you deal with worry? I have bad anxiety. What are you anxious about? Write all 508 of them down. You say mine is 5,800. Write it. You say it's too long. Then it's not worth worrying about. Write all your anxieties and write solution beside. Let me tell you, I'm a very unique person. Those times when I used to have, I like that from I'm a unique person. Those times when I used to have miracle meetings, do you know what I used to do? I thought people send me your request, what you're asking God for. I'll write it down, right? And I'll make another column. I call it God's answer. Do you know the authority it takes to do that? For people, everybody's each individual problem, right? I'll spend time praying about each of those needs. Then as God gives me the answer prophetically, I'll write them beside each of them and I'll return it to all of them. This is like some angelic duties, my people. Right? But it's because every problem has solution. You say you have bad anxiety. What are you anxious about? Or are you just celebrating the anxiety? Don't worry, I deal with bad anxiety too. You're just cursing yourself. You have anxiety, write what you're anxious about. You have insecurities, write what you're insecure about. Progressive mentality. Write what you're insecure about. My height, my weight, do you know? I have such a mad conviction. If I really want to be taller than Ifena, I know how to do it. You see how much Ifena is smoking me in height?
Yeah.
I have mad conviction. It's not just It's not just, you see this thing I'm telling you about prayer and I don't joke with it. If I really want, I would decide. You say I'm past the age of growing and adding any more inches.
If I you just come out of your room one morning and be like,
you don't know how far the power of, what's all about the power of God? Jesus said, you don't know the scriptures, that's why you don't know the power of God. What can't God do? If you think about it, if I really want to be as tall as this guy, of course I'll do my best, eat my food, everything. But last, there are extra powers that we have. I can decide. If one leg is shorter than the other, there is a miracle of lengthening the shorter one. Can't I work that same miracle? Is it not the same faith? To increase, I say, okay, let me have longer distance. You say that's not height. Who told you? You see, God, don't limit his power. It is limited to you. You understand? Within the confines of your own mind. Wow. I wonder what Joshua was thinking. A battle was going on. He said, son, stand still. What was in his brain? Moses didn't think it. Abraham didn't think it. Nobody thought it. He said, son, stand still. Think of how, why? Of all things to think. But he did it. God answered him and honored it. What made Elijah think of stopping clouds from giving rain? People controlling weather. Where has faith gone? It's now height God can't increase. You, one factor. Just as saying sun stand still is like saying there should be only evaporation. No condensation again.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
Do you understand how many laws he's trying to break? What was Jesus thinking by walk on water? Why didn't he perform a miracle of sending an angel from the shore that he was to tell his disciples to come back, that they left him behind praying? He said, no, let me walk on water. I'm just trying to say to you, is this your mind that's limiting you? I'm telling you. You see this thing called worry? Write down your insecurities. Write down your worries. Lord, I want to be taller. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be. Write solutions. Then the ones that you don't know anyway, you say last is prayer. One. When you do it like this, you would be able to track everything to a system. Not when you're worrying about 10,000 things, but only 2 of those things are worthy of worrying about. You have an exam tomorrow. Think about it. Panicking is only hurting your heart. It's only anger is only hurting your liver. Like all these things, they're only destroying you. Why are you helping yourself destroy yourself? Wow. You say, I can't help it. God, you have a spirit of dominion, power. Learn it from your mind. The Bible says that if you've not learned to possess your soul, how can you possess anything else? You want to own houses. You've not learned to first control your own self. How to own yourself. How to own yourself. Own yourself. Own your emotions. You say I can't. You say I can. It starts with that from your mouth. Where the word of a king is, there is power. Bam, you decide, I'm in control. I'm not going to worry. Why? Worry won't help me pass this exam. Let me tell you, when you learn this power, you will not even need any dope to feel dope. You don't need anything. You don't need anything to try and you just be like this. You see me? I don't be worrying about things though. I don't. If I find a thing, I discover, what's the solution to it? Worry won't fix it. Fine, I write in my to-do list. There are times, and then sometimes people just need the wisdom of God. There are times I feel overwhelmed in life because I'm doing too many things. Hey, I'm trying to chase music, I'm trying to play keyboard, I'm trying to preach in TETM, I'm trying to bring miracles about in our ministry, I'm trying to increase our ministry, I'm trying to get the first class in law. I get overwhelmed by so much. I'll be panicking there. But you know what I figured? The moment I write all these things down and I create a plan hour by hour of how I want to do it, all of a sudden my mind will calm down. One day, this thing was so interesting. Why? Because I had a plan. I've heard Jeff say this so many times over the phone. He says, just have a plan. It's as simple as decide that tomorrow you're going to write in your to-do list and do it. Finish. Finish that thing that's bugging you. Just write in your to-do list and do it. People, I don't know, they find a joy in panicking. But I pray, by the mercy of God, that they'll realize there's no need for the panic because to you it's hurting you. When you are worrying like that, is it sweet to you? No, it's not. You're feeling pain. So why continue? When you're hurting like that, you know that you don't like it. So this is a critical exam. Lord, I'm trusting you. Pray. Read. Pray. Go there. Write what you know. Come out. That's just it. If you make it, thank God. If you have to try again, because some people want us to tell that part of the gospel, try again. If you have to try again, try again. But don't ever feel your life is cracked because of this. I must make it. God, there was no land for them to walk through. He parted the sea.
Wow.
He's willing to open. They said they only accept 508 candidates. I've used 508 twice now. But for you, they can make it 509. For crying out loud. Oh, you missed the cutoff mark by just 1 mark. But we'll still accept you. It still happens. This is the God of our day. He can't do it. You know? So real trust in God. You stop worrying. This worry game, worry every time, worrying. Stop saying you can't help it. And stop learning to live with it. I'm learning to live with worry. Stop learning to start confronting it. After good, write down your problems, write down solutions, and chase them. That's what life is about. That's what life is about. So worrying is not worth it. Fear is also not worth it. What's it called? This stuff about I get why people are afraid of. Okay, so we've talked about exams, so we trashed it, like at least to an extent, so you can always reflect on it. Yeah. But worrying in terms of, fear in terms of, what's another thing that's really scary?
Witchcraft.
Yeah. That's what I did before we got to the fear in terms of witchcraft. Yeah. I just wanted to, like what I saw from what you were saying, you were just, like from everything you said about fear concerning examinations and just exams in general, like the definition that got in my head was like fear is just like a bias perception of things due to lack of knowledge. Literally. Because why I said that is because due to lack of, I think we call it gnosis or
lack of gnosis. Oh my God, yeah, gnosis.
Yeah. So it's more like because if you know because why I said it's due to lack of knowledge is because if you knew that reading, like if you know that reading certain areas would make you pass certain exams, that wouldn't be fair. There wouldn't be fear. That's why I said it's due to like a lack of knowledge. If you knew that praying does not necessarily have to like it does not answer your problem. Like it does not have to like directly answer your problems. It points you to what to do so that you can so that your problems can be solved.
Sometimes people don't remember that.
Yes. If you have like or if you just know that fear is just it's not fair. Like it's not fair. It's quite biased. Like is the bias what's it called, perception of things due to your lack of knowledge for all these things. If you know that doing this equals this result, you wouldn't be scared. You wouldn't be fearful.
You focus on
it's more like the
thing you have to do.
Like it's more like it's quite clear. Like the type of knowledge that I'm talking about is the like how do I explain it? Is the type like how do I explain it? Like is it Jesus. So the type of knowledge I'm talking about here is the type that like A plus A equals B. Like like so like if you did this, it would surely equal this result. And if you knew that, there wouldn't be fear. That's just what I know. Like that's literally what I saw from brain would equals this. Like so why fear? Like if you're sure and you're convinced about it, like if you had the knowledge concerning this, like I feel you shouldn't be fearful. Just like what you were saying about if you knew that you'd read something, of course you surely pass an exam. And if you don't pass, you just know that, like, you have the knowledge to know that something must have gone wrong. So maybe you did something. Like, yes, that is the presence of knowledge that I was talking about. That is absent in someone who is fearful. Like, it's not like, no, there's like, I've always feel, that's why sometimes I say, sometimes I do say life is easy. And sometimes life is hard. And why I say life is easy is because, like, A plus A is surely, like, it's more like, it's more like A plus A should equal, like A plus A should, A plus B should equal C, even though it does not look what you get. Like it's more like, if you did this and you did this, why shouldn't it work? Like it's more like why shouldn't it work?
Life should be straightforward.
Like life is quite, like yes, there would just be beats of like, but all those ones are just more like non-existent is what I'm saying. Like A plus B should equal C. That's what I'm saying. If you did this, and if you have the knowledge of doing this and doing this to equal this, you shouldn't be fearful of the result that you would get. Like if you knew that, like it's just like me, like if I read something, like I would, like it's just like if I read, I wouldn't be like scared of the exam. Like it's not, like it's not. This one's not pride. This one is more like you have the knowledge.
You actually have what they're testing you on.
Yes, you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge that reading this would equal you passing this exam or getting this high mark. Like it shouldn't be any reason for fear. Like you see some people that you see some people that will be like, oh yes, they have the knowledge that reading this means that I should pass my exams. And let's say they did the exam and they didn't, like to them they had done well, but like they failed. All those ones, meaning all those ones didn't what's it called? All those ones didn't, like what was I even trying to say? I actually forgot my point.
All those ones didn't work
yeah, like it's just more like they didn't have the knowledge of, like they didn't have the the knowledge of
what they were looking for.
Yeah, what they were looking for.
Yeah.
The exam.
Yeah. And sometimes be patient with yourself. It would be nice to always get everything right first try. But like skateboarding, for example, you don't always get it first try. Braille skateboarding, guys, I'm balanced guy. You don't always get it first try. Like I'll use this. I'm currently learning the keyboard, right? Jack plays the guitar very well. I'm at a curve that I know he's crossed with his guitar. But you know what I figured? I have to be persistent. I'm learning music production and stuff, right? It's difficult, like, honestly, but you have to push and there's muscle you develop. With law, I'm a very articulated person. I express well talking and I express well writing. I'm an author. I don't know how many people in my set have written books in university right now, right? But then there's a lot of them that did way better than me this last semester, right? It's not like I'm a dunce. Do you understand? I wrote each of those papers. I wrote each of those papers confidently. Do you understand? I wrote each of those papers confidently. But it so happened that the law examiner maybe didn't like my script, wanted me to put this. I just have to learn it. Now, some people, after having that result, they'll come back to the exam and they're panicking because the last time they failed. But for me, it's like, bruh, I learned this, okay, fine. You told me I didn't get this right. I'm going to take your feedback, try again to meet your criteria. But never would I feel, maybe that's important to mention, that because I failed the exam, or maybe I never, passed ever, worst case scenario, would I feel, okay, I'm a dunce now because of that? Never equate just the exam to the thing. You understand? Just, you can go for it. You can graduate with a 3rd class, never be employed by any law practice or anything, right? And still make it in the end. The point is, when you understand that there's no dead ends in life, you will calm down more. I'm not encouraging any person to go for 3rd class or anything. I'm going for first. If you like, cheat yourself. But like, just make sure that, you're headed in the right direction. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Witchcraft as a thing. Question, why are we scared of witchcraft? If I used to do this thing one time. No witchcraft. He used to say, break it down to yourself. For example, we're just in this movie, right? And I said, guys, just remember one thing. It's all in the music. I think that's why I watched it and I wasn't even so because I think my mind has gone a bit too far. Let me explain.
He figured out the movie before, like, he kind of spoiled it for me.
I'm sorry about that. So
before I could even think, like, he just shot the answer out to me. I was like, oh.
So the thing is, realize it's all in the music. If there's not that, this thing, it will just be some actor. For example, when in every movie, I may be ruining movies for the rest of life for you guys. But in every movie, when I watch a character just moving, all I think about is the cameraman following him from behind like this. And I just laugh so much because I can see the cameraman steps like this. And I'm like, wasted. Like, and because I see the movie like it's just a composition of things.
Wow.
It's so meaningless.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So break everything down to its first principles. They call it metaphysics. I'm a law student. It doesn't really take too much to know that though. Witchcraft and this. Let me tell you, it's just a person practicing evil spirit power. Here's the best part. You have your own power. Why don't you think to rise up in your own power?
That's what makes it as simple as it is for me, to be honest. I can tell you right now, I'm more likely to run away from a tiger than some guy doing this and I'm seeing chairs moving. Because bro, we all know.
That chair's moving.
You want to play?
Doctor Strange. Deep down in your heart, you know that God is supreme. You know that. You know that what you're doing is the most powerful thing that can be done.
Wow.
Now, as I'm saying this, somebody is still saying, yes, I know, but it's still scary. Why? It's very simple. I know exactly why it's still scary. Because you're actually seeing the chair move.
Yeah.
You, in your whole life, you have never used God to do as in
You've never moved stuff
in your life. Somebody is making cars are drifting, like things are vibrating. That is what makes it scary still.
Yeah.
But me, man, I fully focus on the fact that no matter like how deep this guy is into this thing, as long as I actually have God in me, there is no way this thing can actually harm me.
Wow.
And I'm actually in the position to destroy that thing. It's not even that I'm being protected. It is that I am in the position to destroy. I'm not supposed to stand and be like, last, I'll not die. That kind of thing. My house will get destroyed, but my skin. I'm actually supposed to shut that thing down.
True.
And do you know why I like speaking in tongues? Like, honestly, God, praying in English, I really don't know how
People do it anymore.
if I see somebody or something moving mad, what was that thing? Bible Man, that show we used to watch back in the day. You know that thing was actually,
Bible Man is wow.
the way they show like stuff,
Guy looks like. Do you know it?
no. There was some
Bible
guy,
was
the
nice.
guy that was like the devil in the thing. I think it was green or something. Ugly stuff like this. And the fights or like fight scenes were always very graphic. Like they'll actually show him laughing, things moving, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I see Bible Man quoting scriptures.
That's how he used to win every time.
And that's how he used to win. And I'm just like,
the Lord is my bro. You
yeah,
watch that
I'm
thing.
like,
It's
that
too
guy.
nice.
It's
You
an
just
actual battle.
feel the power of like God, scripture, everything.
Yeah,
Just
and sometimes
beautiful
fear
concept.
can really mess with your brain. Like you said for the exam. Sometimes you might not even be able to remember your scriptures. See, I don't think there's anything wrong in particular with getting scared at first, being frightened by something. But I just know,
meaning,
like the way I've actually speaking in tongues is like, it's like my side arm. You know how you have your primary and then you have your side, like, bro, every single time that I get scared, oh my God. The first thing is I just analyze. If this thing is an animal, you get. But once I realize, okay, this is not, everybody knows that fear is spiritual. People will be doing mental, it is spiritual. Like, I'm walking back to Shackleton in the evening. It's dark. I'm passing through some place with bushes. I'm seeing a swing set. This is real, by the way. I'm seeing a seesaw. It wasn't a swing, and it was like moving. No wind. It was just making some creaking sound. I'm like, bro, are you serious? Are you serious? And now I don't know why it's moving. I can't be asked to find out why. But I have to pass that place. Is it that I pass there? Or I take some long route which is in a bush, and my guy, I don't even, no. There's no need for that. I just genuinely, I started screaming in tongues. At first, I was doing it calmly. The closer I got, the more afraid I was. And I had to repel this fear with the opposites. Come on, bro. Faith. And how exactly do I practice this? Man, by speaking in tongues. I don't know any other way. I can't be saying you are nothing. I am. I can't even be thinking. I cannot be asked to think logically right now. I'm saying something I don't understand. Speaking in tongues is so simple because you are saying something. You don't know what it is. You don't have to think.
Yeah,
bro,
that's true.
I kept on going. And I got to the staircase just to look back and I'm like, can you imagine? What would have happened? If I kept quiet, if I was listening to music, or if I wanted to sleep and I was passing that place, I'll just go. I'll see swing, I don't even care, I just want to sleep. That's
that's what would have been at front of your mind.
Man, like, the way I've did things, my mind, like, getting control of your mind is a very important. So important.
Wow.
That's why they say meditate. That's what the people are trying to do.
Bridging, all these things,
Control.
like, you need to learn how to focus. Because sometimes tiny distractions can cost you so much in this life. something like
honestly,
you're about to submit an exam, you literally have seconds left. Can you imagine how your heart is racing? This is another story that happened to me in Sharks. My heart is racing. I have like 30 seconds left. And I have to scan the documents with my phone, email it to my PC, download it, rename it, then put it on the stock.
In seconds?
Yeah, and I made a mistake in the first one. So imagine.
That literally sounds impossible.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? I don't even like the submitting method. I genuinely don't even know how to do it. I didn't know there was a way to scan. I wrote my guy up on WhatsApp. How do you scan? So I do it with iPhone. He sent me a screenshot of it. I'm like, bro, why? I feel like I can die right now. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand. Because I didn't think that's how it worked. I thought I would just like just type it in. But that's not how it worked. And while I'm doing all this, do you know what happened? Some guy was cleaning the windows. You know those long those things. And for some reason, this guy just wanted to smash my window with his broom thing. And I have a curtain covering it. So he just hits the window with it. My curtain just moves forward. I'm already tense. This happens. Bro. How unlucky am I supposed to feel? Like, do you know how startled I was? I had 30 something seconds left.
So what did you?
And I don't know, should I check what just hit my window? Is it a bird? Is it a bro? I immediately just started speaking in tongues, man. And doing everything. I opened Google, how do you do this? I didn't look at the clock once.
In 30 seconds.
You need to learn how to focus, man. Like, honestly, dealing with deadlines, things like this, control over your mind.
But so some mission impossible, man.
No, honestly.
Because the more time you spend, that tiny distraction, if I give it attention, that thing that hit my window, just, oh my god, what's that? My window cracked. All that distraction, I would have failed my exam.
Wow.
And I'll be suffering now.
Costly.
Learn how to, as much as, yes, you're going to speak in tongues, as much as, yes, you are going to move with a strap, control your mind. Because so many things are mental in this life.